How did he reach? No! No! There we go. Take the job, Bronson. You flipping loser. Yes! Come on! That has to be it. Come on, Kevin. 1, 2... So with the first 2-night Summerslam coming to us this weekend at the making of this video, and with me liking to think I am basically a veteran at this point with these games, as I have played and grown up with a lot of the WWE games throughout my childhood, with SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, SmackDown vs Raw 2011, and WWE12, just to name a few, I decided that I was going to go for the Platinum Trophy on WWE 2K25. However, even though I knew that this Platinum was going to be a grind, as not only the past 3 WWE 2K games I've got the Platinum on have been a grind, and the fact I was also aware that this Platinum could take around 100 hours, which it most certainly did, little did I know that this would be the most grindy, annoying, and just the most unfun WWE game to get the Platinum on. With extremely grindy and awful RNG trophies, to trophies that were extremely boring to work towards, I thought I knew what I was signing up for, but it turns out I didn't. So as you guys have seen by the title of this video, this Platinum almost made me quit. Why is that? Well, let's get straight into the video to find out. Alright, here I am on WWE2K25. I'm super looking forward to getting into this Platinum. So, just like the last game, there are a lot of steps to this Platinum. I believe there's 6. There's technically 7 if you want to count the island, but for some strange reason, this isn't part of the main game's like trophies for some strange reason. I don't know why, it should be. But with the main game, there are 6 steps, and the first one I'm going to do, as always, is I'm going to start with Showcase Mode, because Showcase Mode is something that I do at the very start of these games every single year. I'm looking forward to this one. This is many different characters from the Bloodline, so the Samoan family. So yeah, I don't know how many matches there are. I don't know what the matches are as well. I have a rough idea of some of them, but yeah, I'm going in pretty blind to this, as I always do with these Showcase Modes. So I'm looking forward to this. Let's get straight into it. So once loading up Showcase Mode, it took me straight to this cutscene where we were looking through the eyes of Roman Reigns in a first-person view, and this right here was the closing moments of Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. However, during this cutscene, John Cena comes out to help Cody Rhodes, and we then take control of John Cena, where we have to complete our first objective, which was to hit an AA on Roman Reigns. And not knowing this at the time, but I would get a trophy for doing this. But Roman wouldn't make this objective so simple to complete, as I was trying to hit Roman with the attitude adjustment, he just wouldn't let me. In other words, he wouldn't follow the damn script. Alright, nope. Let's go. Oh no! Is he just going to stand here? Oh, he's following... No, never mind. I was going to say Roman's following the script, but apparently not. He pretty much is, though. He just... Roman, follow the damn script!
Nope.
Oh, what? Okay, Roman...
Nope.
What? Why is this man not following the script? Let me throw a couple punches. There we go. Let's go. Oh, and I got a trophy for it. What's that for? I'm going to have a quick look. Okay, complete 1 objective in Showcase Mode. But after getting that trophy, I finished the intro to this Showcase Mode and began my first of 16 matches, with the first one being Yokozuna versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship at King of the Ring 1993. And then once beating the Hulkster, I then got my trophy. But once finishing that match, I didn't get another trophy for a few matches, but as I was going through this Showcase Mode, I really wasn't a big fan of it, because it just felt like they were quite lazy with most matches, as there was barely any objectives to complete, and it just felt like they put way more effort into the IRL cutscenes with Paul Heyman, as I was just watching these cutscenes before every match, anywhere between 5 to 7 or 8 minutes, which was sometimes longer than the actual match, it felt like. And for those who know me will know that I am one of the rare WWE 2K players that actually like and enjoy Showcase Mode, but unfortunately this one was just not for me and I just couldn't get behind it. But after playing all these matches, I got a trophy called I Did It For The People, which was to stun Stone Cold at No Mercy 2000, and then another trophy called the OTC, which was to win the War Games match as Team Roman Reigns. But later on, I would have to play this exact same match again, but as Solo's team to get another trophy. But before doing that, I had unlocked the bonus match for this year's Showcase Mode, and with last year's bonus match being a Royal Rumble, this year's was a Gauntlet match with 10 Bloodline members involved, and just like last year, I got to pick who I wanted to use in this match. Obviously, we should really pick our tribal chief Roman Reigns. Where is he? There he is. But I'm going to go a little bit on the limb here. I'm going to go with who my favourite from this family is. One of my favourites anyway. I wouldn't say they're my favourite, but playing all these matches, I definitely would probably pick our tribal chief to be the great Umaga. Put the ones up for Umaga, our tribal chief. Select. Let's go. So I decided to use the Great Umaga for this Gauntlet match, and like I said earlier, there was only 10 entrants in the match, which meant I only had to beat 9 of these Samoans, and I decided to do this on Legendary difficulty, just like I decided to do everything on this game on Legendary difficulty, even though for some trophies you don't have to.
Ooh. You're hard.
But I went into this thinking it wasn't going to be that hard. And honestly, whilst editing this video, I'm actually shocked I struggled and failed to win this match as much as I did. Because since doing this match over 2 months ago now, yeah, you heard that right, this platinum took me over 2 months to get. I forgot to mention that at the start of the video. But anyway, since playing that match over 2 months ago now, I've played other Gauntlet matches for other trophies that we'll talk about later on in the video, but also just doing some by myself for fun, and I didn't struggle as much as I did here, and the mistakes I was making was so stupid and almost amateurish that I was getting embarrassed from it, and because of that, I began to rage, as you'll see here. How did he reach? I really didn't think he'd reach me there. Oh, of course! No! 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 I've lost. No! No! Are you flipping kidding me? No, 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 no. How did I miss that? What the hell did I just... Why did I do that? But after failing a few times, with some of them being in the most stupidest and, like I said, amateur ways possible, I began the match again and this time managed to win on my 4th attempt, and then once winning the match I got my next trophy, which meant the last trophy I had to get for showcase mode was called the NTC, which was to win the War Games match as Solo's team, which I had mentioned earlier. And I wasn't looking forward to doing this match, I'll be completely honest, because I don't like doing War Games matches anyway, because it's just so chaotic and overwhelming at times for me personally. But the objectives for this match are quite challenging, where I have to bust open all 4 opponents in the match, etc. And I was lucky enough to win this match first try when I played as the original Bloodline. However, when playing as the new Bloodline, I wasn't as lucky. Oh my god! No! Oh my gosh, man! See, this is what I flipping mean! Oh my gosh, now I've got to do all of that again. That is 15 minutes of my life gone. But regardless of failing once, luckily I didn't lose any more than that, and I was able to win on my 2nd attempt. Yes! Yes! We did it! We did it! I think Solo won it for us, unfortunately. I wanted Jacob to win it, but at least we won. Okay, where's my trophy game? There it is, the NTC. Win the Bloodline War Games with Team Solo Sikoa. Oh, let's go. But that is showcase mode now done. Overall, I wasn't really a big fan of that one. It felt like they were quite lazy with this one. It's like they put more time into the Paul Heyman in real life cutscenes before every match. Like the actual matches just felt quite bland, I guess, compared to other showcase mode matches. I'm not sure if that's just me or not, but I liked the idea of this showcase mode, but I think as an overall, I definitely have preferred other showcase modes to this game. But apart from that, that's the only real negative I have to say about this, to be honest. It just felt like the matches were quite like bland and like it was like lazy. They didn't really put much effort into them. So with the first step of this platinum now done, it is now on to the 2nd step, which was to complete my faction. So once starting my faction, the first thing to do was to create my faction's name. Siggle that wiggle. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And once creating that sexy name for my faction, if I do say so myself, I began to work towards completing my first weekly tower for a trophy. And as I was doing these matches, I worked towards completing the 3 daily challenges for another trophy as well. And during the first hour of playing my faction, I got these 5 trophies, with one of them just being as simple enough to just win my first match. And then these next 3 being based around completing daily and lifetime challenges. And then the last one to complete a weekly tower. And then after getting those 5 trophies, I started to work towards completing 10 live event matches for another trophy. So after about 25 minutes or so, I was able to complete 10 live event matches for another trophy. But this is where the true grind of MyFaction began, as I began to complete the World Tour next. And this is basically the same thing as Proving Grounds on the previous games, except way more grindy, and there's also rules and restrictions on most matches that you have to do, which I did not like, as I couldn't use certain rarity of cards for most matches, etc. And there are multiple cities that you have to complete a set of 5 or 6 matches on, and on all 3 sets of that city. But when going through the first city and completing it, I got another trophy to complete a location on World Tour in MyFaction. But once completing the first one, more unlocked, with one of them being Dallas. However, this almost seemed like a scam, because to be able to unlock the ability to play this one, I had to buy 2 legendary cards in the card store. And this really annoyed and frustrated me, because yes, I could have bought the cheapest and most common cards. However, I didn't want to do that because I wanted the best chance to win these matches. So my choices were either spending real money to buy MyFaction points to buy the cards, or work towards winning loads and loads and loads of matches to earn enough points to buy the cards that way. And I would be damned if I was actually going to spend real money on this game, because I was not going to do that. So instead of that, I decided to grind all these matches out, and after nearly 2 months of playing these matches on and off, as I was also working on other videos at the time, and not to mention that early on in those 2 months, I got another trophy called Loyalty Confirmed, which was to earn a loyalty reward. I finally had enough points to buy the 2 legend cards I needed to complete the last city in World Tour. But as I was going through these matches, I got to the last set of matches for Dallas, where I had to buy another legendary card.
No! God! No! No!
And I was very annoyed about this, because at this point I was already sick of MyFaction, but this really felt like a scam to pay real money. But luckily I had enough MyFaction points to buy another card, and then I completed the remaining matches to finally get the trophy to complete all USA matches in the World Tour. And after finally completing that, I went on to the ranked play to just complete 5 matches to be on the leaderboard to be able to earn a reward when the season ends for the Rise of the Ranks trophy later on. However, I would have loved to have won all of my matches like I did on last year's game. However, I have clearly gotten rusty, because that would not be the case, as I lost like 3 or 4 of these matches, which is just so embarrassing for me, I can't lie. But regardless, I only had the faction wars to complete, as just like last year, I had to beat 30 faction war bosses. And for those who did watch my video last year will know how I did not like this mode, mostly because about 80% of the matches were ladder matches and it was so repetitive. However, this year there wasn't as many ladder matches, but there was still a good chunk of them which I didn't like, considering the amount of ladder matches I had to do on the World Tour. But after completing my first of 6 of Faction Wars bosses, I got a trophy to complete all intro challenges. But fast forward around 2 hours later, and I had beaten the remaining Faction Wars bosses to get my last trophy for my faction. I mean, for now anyway, as like I said earlier in the video, I still had to get the Rise of the Ranks trophy. However, I couldn't physically get that until the season ended, which at this point was around 20 something days. So because of that, I would move on to the 3rd step, and that 3rd step was to complete MyRise. So just like last year, I didn't commentate through the majority of this career mode, as me and my girlfriend wanted to experience this together. However, this career mode was pretty different to the others in the past, as the story was much shorter, but there is replay value to this, as there are multiple different endings and choices you can make throughout the story, which is also what I would have to do, as the majority of the trophies for this step was to make certain choices which require you to replay the career mode a few times. Now I will give a brief rundown on what happens during this story, so for those of you that are watching who don't want to be spoiled by this, then you can skip to the number that's on the screen now, but there will also be a timestamp on when the next step is, so yeah, you can use that too. But basically, long story short, this story in terms of the idea was a lot of fun, as you have both your male and female character, with one being portrayed as the future of the WWE, which is your decision to make, and the other character being brought in to help with the battle with NXT invading WWE. And at first it is rumoured that Triple H is the leader of this NXT group called Mutiny, but it turns out it was CM Punk who later on in the story betrays us to cost our creator characters the Unity Tag titles, which is basically the mixed tag team championships. And throughout the story we have to pick from both the men and women's side of who we want to have on our team, and for each person there was a separate story, which was so cool and added replay value. However, towards the end of the story, the custom character that you don't pick to be the future at the start of the career, well, they end up joining Mutiny and being aligned with CM Punk. And when me and my girlfriend were playing this at the same time, we were both genuinely heartbroken, I can't lie. Like, honestly, we were both just in awe. But that horrible, heartbreaking cutscene then leads to a decision on who you want to play as for the rest of the game. And after making the decision to play as my character being Psychosis, there was about another hour of the career left before it was completed. But as I played this career mode twice to get some more trophies, I got a total of 11 trophies on both my first and second playthrough that are popping up on the screen now. With the majority of these trophies just being to progress through the story and to get to a certain point which you'll naturally get, but also to make certain choices and one trophy to beat the story twice. But whilst playing through the career mode, there are these live event matches that you can do either before starting a storyline or once beating the story. And whilst playing the career mode, I had been casually doing these matches as there are 2 trophies linked to this to earn a total of 50 stars in these matches and 100 stars. And after beating the story the second time, I was just grinding out these matches for maybe a couple of hours or just over, and this was pretty repetitive as it was literally just playing matches on repeat, but I did make it more enjoyable for myself by consistently putting on either 4.5 or 5-star matches. But just by doing this for the past 2 hours, like I said, I was able to get the trophy to earn a total of 50 stars on the live event matches, and then the trophy to earn 100 stars an hour or so after. But now it was time to play the story from the beginning again, as I had to not only get a trophy to make certain decisions after getting betrayed by the other custom character, but I had to make a cloud save so it would save me a ton of time, and I wouldn't have to restart the story another 2 times. Because after getting my next trophy to align myself with the indie wrestlers, I then had to make the opposite choice and this time choose to continue the story as the character who betrayed the other one, who in this case would be my character. And here we would have a couple trophies to obtain, with one of them being to win the NXT Championship of Ashanti the Adonis, and another one to win the championship of Trick Williams. So this right here is exactly why I decided to do the cloud save method, as I would have to do this section twice. However, I decided to take the more cowardly and easy way to win the title first, when I would choose to face Ashanti for it.
This is disgusting.
It is disgusting, Byron. I will fully admit. I am not gonna deny it. It is disgusting. But I gotta do what I gotta do to get this game's platinum. Oh, he's putting up a bit of a fight. Oh, he's actually putting up a bit of a fight, bless him. He's making it interesting. He's getting these fans' money's worth, I suppose. I can't just squash him. He's got to put up a little bit of a fight, but not too much of a fight, Ashanti. I've got to beat you quick so I can face the real challenge later on. That being Trick Willie. Sorry, I was being Booker T then. Here we go. The Psycho Cutter. There it is. That could be it. That could be it. I don't know if it will be, but that could be it. Oh my god, it was. Let's go. The Psycho Cutter finishes it for him. So that's 1 match down. I should get my trophy like after this celebration. And then once getting that trophy, I'll go straight. Oh wait, no. Oh my god. Ashley Diamond's here. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. I actually was not expecting this. I should have expected that, to be honest. Oh, she even did the CM Punk thing from 2011 at Money in the Bank. Nice little callback there, I guess. I was not expecting... I probably should have expected my female character to show up, but I don't know why I wasn't. That was kind of cool. Especially that callback with CM Punk in 2011. That was cool. But there's my trophy. Victory by design. So that's to face Ashanti the Adonis, beat him for the NXT Championship. So once getting that trophy, I loaded up my cloud save and then faced Trick Williams to get the other trophy. And then after that, I continued through the story and I was pleasantly surprised with how good this last hour or so was. Because don't get me wrong, the other option isn't bad by any means, but this storyline in my opinion is just so much better and I was pleasantly surprised. As our character is hungry for power and essentially the biggest heel in the business, as not only did we destroy our former partner in a Hell in a Cell match, which I still feel bad about, sorry Ashley Diamond, but we then managed to get everyone to turn on CM Punk and make me the new leader of NXT Mutiny. And don't get me wrong, the reason why my character did this is because we found out that Triple H was the actual leader and creator of NXT Mutiny, and CM Punk was working with him secretly. But our character was also hungry for as much power as possible. But eventually we beat CM Punk in a match, and then Triple H realizes that we are an absolute monster and need to be stopped, which is where The Rock came in and challenged us to a match at WrestleMania to bring back WWE being Raw and SmackDown, etc. And honestly, my character at this point was just an absolute psycho, which was kind of off-putting at certain points because it genuinely felt like my character was this just like extremely evil entity that needed to be stopped. And honestly, this role fit my character so well, which I loved. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if 8, 9 or 10-year-old me saw this, I'd probably be having nightmares. Like honestly, call me a wimp, I don't care, but this is the kind of stuff that would scare 8-year-old Josh. But with the final match of the career mode being Psychosis versus the final boss, I thought the career mode would end with us looking up at the lights and WWE being back at full strength. Hey! Okay, lock in, Josh. Yes! Let's go! You're not getting rid of me that easily, you bold fraud. But that is not what happened, as we beat The Rock and officially destroyed WWE for good. Yes, be sad, everyone. Be sad. Alright, I should get my trophy. Unless that's, yeah, that should be the end. There's the trophy. Mutiny, Mastermind. Completed story, Conqueror ending. Okay, that definitely, like, surprised me. That really, really surprised me. I'm actually shocked how good that was. I wish it was longer. This is the only, like, critique I have of this career mode. I love the concept. Like, I love the whole, like, NXT invading WWE and, like, all of these people invading. And I love the concept and, you know, having to make your own team to fight them and everything. It kind of reminds me of WWE12 Road to WrestleMania a little bit. Just a little bit. Like, not obviously everything, but, like, with the last story especially, because there's 3 stories in that game. With the last one, it reminds me of that a little bit. But, like, so I love the concept of this. I just wish it was a little bit longer. I know that there's replay value to this, but, like, this MyRise mode is just so short, which I do not like. I do wish it was a little bit longer, but that surprised me. That choice, like, if you choose to do that ending, that's actually surprisingly good. Whereas, like, the other ending's not bad, but, like, it's nothing in comparison to what that just was. That was honestly so good. It really was. I just wish it was a bit longer. So with the 3rd step of this platinum now done, it was now on to the 4th step, which was to complete universe mode. So with there being 5 trophies to get on universe mode, with 3 of them being all promo based, I decided to quickly get those 3 trophies first, with this one to complete a self promo, this one to issue or accept an open challenge promo, and then this one to start either a match or brawl from a call out promo. Which then led me to the last 2 trophies, with this one to crown a new King and Queen of the Ring, and in this one to complete both nights of WrestleMania. And both of these trophies are extremely easy and straightforward to get, as all you have to do is simply skip the shows and you'll get the trophy. Like, it will literally take you like 5 minutes to do. However, because I enjoyed these WWE games, I wanted to have a bit of fun whilst going for these trophies, even if it took a little bit longer. So with the King and Queen of the Ring, I decided to play the finals of both matches, and specifically with the King of the Ring, I specifically put Karrion Kross into the tournament, and also made him win, as I am a huge Karrion Kross fan, and if he's not going to get pushed in real life, I'll make sure he gets pushed in my universe mode, damn it. But after crowning the King and Queen of the Ring, I got my trophy for it. So now I just simulated to the Royal Rumble, as I wanted to play the match at WrestleMania with the Royal Rumble winner versus the champion. And me being in charge of this universe mode, I decided to have the great Drew McIntyre win the Royal Rumble, as he is my favourite WWE wrestler right now. And once simulating to WrestleMania, Bronson Reed was actually the world champion, which was pretty cool. So deciding to play as Drew, and it also being in a Hell in a Cell match, I wanted to go back to my childhood and climb the top of the cell, and once being up there, I wanted to put Bronson Reed through that roof. There we go, take the job, Bronson, you flipping loser. Right, finish him. Finish him! I'm sorry there's no table spots, people, but Bronson brought the table in when there was no plan to. There we go. He doesn't have resiliency, he's just gone through a flipping cell roof. That has to be it. Ah! How the hell did he kick out? There it is. Oh, that was beautiful. The only thing that wasn't beautiful was the table disappearing. This is why I miss SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Also, can I just say, how is this a 3-star match? Anyway, 1, 2, 3. There it is. Drew McIntyre wins the World Heavyweight Championship in what should have been a 5-star classic. But no, I guess we've got flipping Dave Meltzer in charge of this star rating for this match, because that was apparently 3 stars. That was apparently 3 stars, which is absolutely more Drew McIntyre disrespect. I will not stand for it. I will not stand for it, goddammit, but at least he's World Heavyweight Champion. There it is, biggest nights of the year. Complete both nights of WrestleMania, Universe Classic or Superstar mode in brackets. Okay, awesome. That is Universe mode done. So with the 4th step of this platinum now done, it is now on to the 5th step, which was to complete MyGM. And this right here is exactly why I almost quit this platinum a bunch of times. And that being because there are 3 RNG trophies that I would have to go for, which were all an absolute nightmare to get. And even when I got lucky enough to get what I needed, I still had to grind for a season to be able to meet the requirements to get the trophy. But those those 3 RNG trophies weren't the only problem, as there was also another trophy called Host with the Most, which was to host an online WrestleMania event. And I couldn't get this trophy for a really long time, and I was actually convinced at one point I'd never get it, which I'll explain more later on. However, I started MyGM and worked towards the trophy called GM Punk, which was to enter the Hall of Fame first place with CM Punk as the GM and Mutiny as the brand. And whilst doing this, I was hoping to get all 10 PLEs so I could win the main event for them for another trophy, which was one of the RNG ones that I just showed. And luckily, there was an easier way to get this first trophy, as you could set the amount of trophies you needed to go into the Hall of Fame, and I decided to set 3 just in case because I didn't want to make any mistakes and have the AI win. And I also thought doing 2 or 3 seasons instead of 1 would mean I'd have a good chance of getting all 10 PLEs. However, I went through the GM mode, and after 1 season, I got all 3 of the Hall of Fame trophies I needed for the GM Punk trophy, which totally surprised me. But after getting that trophy, I just continued through the season trying and hoping to get lucky enough to get all 10 PLEs and also get Kyle Slickman and Cash Suplex. And although I got Kyle Slickman and started leveling him up to Immortal to have him win the main event of WrestleMania for another trophy, I spent hours and hours and season after season not being able to get Cash Suplex, and also not getting all the PLEs I needed as well. And long story short, this was really annoying me, and I didn't record much of this process because it's pretty much the same thing I had to do on repeat. But I was getting so mad and almost quit the Platinum a few times because I just couldn't get these remaining PLEs I needed and also Cash Suplex. And I definitely made this harder for myself because I didn't do much research beforehand, which I probably should have done. But the only reason I didn't do research before doing this is because 1, I didn't think it would be this stressful, and 2, I didn't want to potentially spoil this game for myself and ruin it like I've done with other games in the past. But after about 4 seasons, I got the trophy to have Kyle Slickman win a WrestleMania main event, and then I spent around 15 hours just having to constantly replay season after season and book show after show, and just having no success finding the PLEs and Cash Suplex. So at this point, I just decided to do some research because I almost quit this Platinum multiple times at this point, but I just couldn't bring myself to actually quit, especially with how much work I had put in up until this point. So I saw that you can start a new save file, and as long as you're the Mutiny brand, your wins should carry over to the new save file as long as you don't delete the others. So once doing this, I got Cash Suplex on like the 2nd week and also found the remaining 2 PLEs I needed around an hour later to win the main event on. So once being on the final one on Bad Blood, I played as the young OG Javon Evans and won the match. And because I was so nervous this trophy might not pop up, and I'd gone through over 15 hours or so of just so much pain and torture to get to this point, when the trophy did pop, as you could probably imagine, I was very happy and just so relieved. Please. Oh. Yes! There it is! The 1%, that method did work. Thank God for that. Oh my gosh, that trophy was an absolute bastard. Oh, I'm so happy to see that. Oh my gosh, I did not think that strategy would work, like doing it through multiple like different save slots, but it did. Thank God for that. But with that trophy done, I spent the next hour leveling up Cash Suplex to max level, and once getting to that point, I was on the final moments to get this last RNG trophy. Right, I'm finally booking Cash Suplex in a no holds barred match. So if I just change these two, let's just put Cash Suplex versus, I don't know, Josh Briggs. No holds barred match. And then I'm going to use my fixed match card that I brought earlier. So here it is. And then we use this for Josh Briggs. So like it guarantees he wins this match. And then we're going to start the show. And then Josh Briggs should win. And then Cash Suplex will get injured. So once he gets injured. So yeah, it says Suplex injured for 1 week. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get to the show. And then we'll go to power cards. That's it. Power cards, ruthless terms, use that. And then if I go to manage roster, go to Cash Suplex because he's injured right now. If I release him, 205,000 and I need 150,000. So release talent and I should get my last RNG trophy. There it is. Medical bill. Let's go. Oh my gosh. I am honestly 12, 13, 14 hours of just straight up like hell essentially, and just a horrible grind to get these like some of these RNG trophies, and I have finally got all of them. So after getting that trophy, I just got the remaining 2 trophies that weren't RNG and took around 10 minutes to get. But unfortunately, I still had the only online trophy to get that I had mentioned earlier, and I had to invite 3 friends to help with this trophy, but the problem was that I had no friends on my friends list that had this game. But I tried not to worry too much about that now and just move on to the 6th and final step, which was to get all play mode trophies. So I started by going for a set of grindy trophies first, with one of them to win 25 underground matches in a row. And whilst going for that trophy, I was also working towards completing 25 matches on legendary difficulty without using the instant recovery ability. And I could have done this the more easy and cheesy way in my opinion by doing the submission strategy to easily tap the person out in seconds. But I decided that I was going to do this the proper way and win the 25 matches legit. But little did I know that this would be a mistake and cost me so much time and begin to make me hate this experience and almost quit the platinum again. However, going into my first match, I knew there was a trophy to win an underground match after being in the critical state. So that means that I would have to let Lola beat me up until I was at this point right here and then reverse a move and win the match. So I did just that and then got my trophy. And then I just played another 25 matches and this took over 2 hours to do, and I just massively underestimated how long, stressful and unenjoyable this would be. But after getting my trophy to complete 25 matches without using instant recovery, I beat Lola for the 25th time, but for some reason the trophy just did not pop, which left me very confused and frustrated. Come on! Yes! Oh my god, that's done. Wait, where is my trophy? That's 25 right there. Have I got to win one more time? Oh no. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man. That is like such a ball buster. I literally thought I was done and I got so happy. And now I've got to do another flipping match. Are you joking? Please. Oh, please. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. She's got no health. I can't feel my arm. Oh, yes. Okay. Jeez, I can't feel my arm. That better be it. What the hell? I don't get it. Wait, why is this not working? Do I quit? Oh my gosh, what the hell is happening right now? I've beaten her 26 times and it hasn't given me my damn trophy. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. I've literally spent 2.5 hours here. Oh! So because I didn't want to spend another 2 hours or so doing these matches again, I just decided to swallow my pride and adjust the submission stats to just get quick submission wins. However, after submitting my opponent for the 4th time, I ended up getting the trophy out of nowhere, which really surprised me, and I was convinced that this trophy was just glitched. But after finally getting that trophy, I decided to go for the trophy to beat Roman Reigns on legendary difficulty in a Bloodline Rules match without calling any of my allies. And during this match, I got another trophy called This Is New, which was to successfully perform a dive and attack off the barricade. But whilst going through this match, it wasn't until Roman started calling in his allies where this genuinely felt impossible to get, as I just couldn't catch a break as they just kept swarming me and I couldn't even get any offense in. So because I was already stressed and done with this platinum because of the underground stuff and the GM mode as well, I just did the submission strategy and won the match that way to get the trophy. But after that, I then got these next 4 trophies, which were all extremely easy and enjoyable to get, which was a nice change. But after getting those 4 trophies, I then went for the trophy to win a 5-entrant Turmoil Gauntlet match as a giant without losing any of my armor. And I decided to use Andre the Giant, and the plan was to not face people with high rules, as I would do that for the 20-person Gauntlet trophy later. But the plan was to also count them out, but I don't know if this was a glitch or the developers changed the rules of this match from last year's game. But after counting out the first 2 opponents, I'd count out the 3rd person, and then for some reason, it would say it was a draw even though I was still in the ring. And this happened a few times, which I wasn't happy about, which forced me to do this legit, as I didn't want to do the submission strategy again. So after an hour of failing and struggling, I was able to finally get this trophy. But with only one more play mode trophy to go, I had been spending a few days messaging and asking random people who had this trophy already if they could help me get it. And after a few days, I had finally got these 3 guys here to help me out, which truly meant a lot to me. So I went back to GM mode and hosted a WrestleMania online event with these 3 guys and finally got my last trophy for GM mode. Oh man, I'm so happy that trophy is now done. Shout out to those 3 guys that I mentioned in the video just now. Like, if it wasn't for those guys, I would not have been able to get this trophy, so I'm just so thankful to those guys. Assault Ninja, Josh127 and C9. Like, you guys genuinely helped me out so much when you didn't even have to. You know, they didn't technically have to, but they did. So really appreciative to those guys. Got that trophy because of them. And that is my GM, and that trophy is now finally behind me, which I'm so happy about. So yeah, again, shout out to those 3 guys for helping me out. Can't thank them enough. I've thanked them quite a few times during messages, like after getting the trophy. So Yeah, huge shout out to those three guys. It really means a lot for helping me out there. I do appreciate it. So I've only got 2 more trophies left. One of them is to go onto my faction and just collect the collect the reward, which will get me a trophy called Rise of the Ranks, which was the same as last year. And in the Gauntlet match, but I don't think I can get my I don't think I can get it right now, yeah, because the servers are shut down. It's either that or my crap internet, I'm not too sure. I might wait a few minutes just to see, like, if this comes back up, and if it doesn't, I'll do the Gauntlet match, and then obviously the, get this trophy last.
A few moments later.
Alright, can I get it now? Oh, no, yeah, it was an internet thing. It was just an internet problem. There it is, rise through the ranks, let's go. Okay, yeah, it was literally just my internet. That's good to know. So after getting those 2 trophies, I just had the 20-person Turmoil Gauntlet match to complete before the Platinum. So I decided to do this at Summerslam as it only made sense with the 2-night Summerslam this weekend. And last year, I had spun a wheel with my favourite wrestlers at that time from past and present. However, this year, I decided to once again play as Drew McIntyre and face 20 wrestlers, with some being a high overall and some being around the mid-80s and high 70s. And on the first attempt, I had struggled on the first match / opponent, which caused me to restart the entire match. Oh my god, I'm restarting, I'm sorry. I do not care. But after that blip, I was running through everyone on my second attempt, and after over an hour later, I had my last opponent to beat before the Platinum was mine. But with me being on pretty low health and stamina at this point, I was pretty nervous, and I think it was safe to say that the pressure was on. I have defeated 18 opponents. I am not failing at the last hurdle. I don't care how injured I am. I still have resiliency. I have 2 finishes. I should be able to do this. I just really, really don't want to choke it and mess it up. Come on, please don't move. Yes, let's go. That's some good damage. Right, I'm going to try and hit him with a claymore. Yes, there it is. Right, I think he's got resiliency, so I'm going to let him use it. But I have still got 2 more finishes, so unless he just keeps reversing me, hopefully I can get this W in, like, literally maximum a minute or 2. If I can hit this, this should be it, and then this should be the Platinum. Yes! Come on! That has to be it. Come on, Kevin. 1, 2, 3! Let's go! Oh, let's go! Oh my gosh, that was intense. Oh, there it is. Let's run it back. There's my trophy. Oh man, successfully run through a 20 entrant Turmoil Gauntlet match on Legend difficulty, and then the Platinum trophy. No, new milestone? Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I got a new milestone. But there's the Platinum trophy. The Platinum trophy has just popped up for me. Let's go. All trophies earned. Terrible name for a Platinum. I will still stand by that. But yeah, that is now done. So that is the Platinum trophy finally obtained after over 100 hours of just pain. Now don't get me wrong, this entire Platinum wasn't bad, as even though I feel like this showcase mode wasn't as good as previous years, I still enjoyed the concept, and I liked the bonus match as well, being the Gauntlet. And not to mention on the Gauntlet match how nice this arena looked. Like, this Bloodline arena was so nice in my opinion. And I also enjoyed the gameplay and playing MyRise, etc. Like, that was all quite enjoyable. But with my faction being extremely grindy and not the most enjoyable at most points, and that taking up around 25 or 30 hours alone, to the awful GM mode. Like, the GM mode is the main reason why I hated this Platinum, and I probably would have enjoyed this Platinum a lot more if the GM mode trophies weren't so bad. But honestly, all the RNG trophies, especially the one to win the main event in all 10 PLEs as the Mutiny brand, was just absolutely awful and ruined this whole experience for me. Like, I absolutely hate RNG trophies, and the fact how there was 3 of them on GM mode and I spent 15 hours or so just constantly booking shows to get to the PLE, and also trying to get the other 2 custom wrestlers as well, and then once being lucky enough to actually get them, having to level them up for a season or 2 was just so annoying. And I hated it so much I almost quit the Platinum a bunch of times because of it. And like I said earlier, thank God I got the online GM mode trophy thanks to the 3 guys I mentioned in the video. That helped me out. So yeah, overall, I do not recommend this Platinum to anyone, as I went through over 2 months going for this Platinum, and yes, that wasn't all in one go, as I did take a week or so break a few times from the game to work on other videos at the time, but this still took over 100 hours to get, which was crazy. And for those that do enjoy playing these games, then honestly just stick to doing that, because I don't advise you go for the Platinum because you probably won't have a good time. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video here, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it means a lot. And take care. See you guys later.